Hey everybody, and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly forecast. My name is Terence. The week begins on Monday, April the 15th, 2024. This is a very big week astrologically, but some really positive breakthrough energies. Many people, their lives could be shifting in new positive directions. But let's take it a day at a time. On Monday, the 15th, the moon that sets the emotional tone will be in Cancer. Cancer is more homebody, more family-oriented, more nurturing. And the moon will be, however, in a stressful angle to the sun in Aries around noon, 1 p.m. Pacific time. That could be when relationships are off kilter, or you're not getting your emotional needs met, but it only lasts an hour or two. And by 4:23 p.m. Pacific time, the moon in Cancer goes void of course until 7:24 p.m., at which point the moon moves into dynamic, outgoing Leo. Where Cancer, the energy in Cancer once a month, we're more inclined to just want to stay home. But when the moon goes into Leo, we want to go out and enjoy life. Again, the void, of course. The moon is changing signs, but it's no longer making aspects to other planets, so there's no energy. And if you launch and begin any new project when the moon's void, of course, the energy is flat. It's unproductive. It's good for resting. It's good for just sticking to the routine, but best advised not to try to start anything important new. And during these void of course periods that I'll be listing as we go through each day, the Mercury is in retrograde, remember, from April the 1st till April the 25th. In the sign of impatient Aries. But with it being retrograde, you might have to be revising, rethinking, re-editing. Now, on Tuesday, the moon is in this dynamic, outgoing Leo energies. There's nothing else going on. And with the sun in fiery Aries and Leo, the moon in Leo, Leo is also a fire sign. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of inspiration. Good for exercising, getting out there, enjoying life. Wednesday, the moon's in Leo will be in harmony with communication Mercury around 9 a.m. Pacific time. Very good for meetings, very good for having any kind of personal conversation, really good for writing. Now, early afternoon, the moon will be in a hard angle to expansive Jupiter. Well, Jupiter is all this positive energy, but when it's stressed by the moon, you might be having too many expectations, a bit of spending too much, indulging too much, but you're really enjoying yourself. By mid-afternoon, just after we pass the Jupiter energies, the moon will be in a challenging aspect to unpredictable, liberating Uranus. Now, that could mean some unexpected surprises or unexpected upsets. But it's very favorable for breaking out of any old, boring, stuck routine, shaking things up and trying something new. Thursday, now we start going into a very active time astrologically. Communication Mercury, retrograde, is going to be aligning with cooperative relational Venus, especially the last half of the day, so just after noon Pacific time. And so this could be really favorable for forgiveness, because the Mercury in retrograde is your kind of revising, rethinking, but it's with loving, forgiving, cooperative Venus. Now, the moon will be void of course in fiery Leo from 5:03 a.m. to 7:11 a.m. But Pacific time, at which point the moon, the public moon, goes into Virgo for a couple of days. Virgo is sensible, it's analytical, it's work-oriented. Leo's having fun. Virgo, let's get the job done. And with that Mercury-Venus, another positive how this could play out is if you are writing, because Mercury is the communicator. And then being retrograde with creative Venus, this could be a really favorable day on the 18th to do a lot of revising and re-editing. On Friday, the moon continues in Virgo, analytical, sensible, practical Virgo. But the sun leaves fiery Aries around 7 a.m. Pacific time and moves into earthy, steady Taurus. That Aries, from the end of March to this end of April, till April the 19th, the sun in Aries is always this energy of let's initiate new activities. It's springtime in the northern latitudes. It's getting excited, getting impatient. But then the sun goes into Taurus, and it's time now to ground yourself, get more steady, or try to figure out how to manifest and then accomplish the goals that the sun in Aries got all excited about initiating. Now, so with the moon in Virgo, and then at 7 a.m. Pacific time, the sun going into Taurus, they're both earth signs. Earth is good for business, for being sensible, responsible, and slowly but surely accomplishing your goals. Plus ambitious Mars, more the first half of the day where it's the strongest, is going to be very positive with expansive Jupiter. Mars favorable with Jupiter is good for accomplishing work projects, good for starting them. And Mars later in the day is going to be favorable with Uranus. That's because Jupiter and Uranus are going to be exactly aligning on Saturday, which I'll talk about next. But on Friday, assertive, confident Mars is favorable with the Jupiter the first part of the day mainly, and then to Uranus the second half. This is really favorable for accomplishing a lot of projects. Now, because of Mercury in retrograde, if you're inclined to get excited to start something new, first of all, don't. And second of all, use it to do a lot of due diligence, getting second opinions, doing a lot of, brainstorming ideas, but don't act until after the 25th. But any projects have been ongoing. This is really favorable on Friday to have to really start accomplishing the goals you've been working on. So we go into Saturday, and Jupiter and Uranus are now aligned. This happens about every 13 to 14 years. Uranus is this breakthrough, innovative, unpredictable energies, progressive energies. And when it's aligned with Jupiter, Jupiter is optimism, opportunity, growth. Many people, if that Jupiter-Uranus, it's going to be around 21 to 22 degrees of Taurus. If you have any planets in your chart that's impacted by that degree or it's in Taurus, so also the other earth signs of Capricorn or Virgo or opposite the Taurus, which is Scorpio, any of those signs, if you have planets around 21, 22 degrees of the earth signs, triggering all those other things I just mentioned, this could be windfalls of luck. Something, and because it's still during Mercury in retrograde, It could be something that has started a long time ago, something you could have been working on, a career. You've been maybe trying to get a major job project going, or getting accepted into a university. And then around the 20th, now it peaks on the 20th, but give it a couple of weeks before to the couple of weeks after. If it's impacting your chart, there could be some significant breakthrough energies. So many times it's a windfall of money, from a settlement to an inheritance, to just some type of a financial gift. Plus, Venus is going to align with Saturn. Now, if we're talking about love and more personal relationships, the Venus-Saturn will test you. And it's time to take more responsibilities for maintaining and strengthening that relationship. But if we're talking business, especially a creative business, again, don't start anything new, but any kind of creative business, Venus-Saturn is very positive with that, you could start getting some real, very positive results. Now, the moon will go void, of course, in Virgo, 5:20 p.m. Pacific time to 8:09 p.m., at which point the moon leaves Virgo, goes into Libra for 2.5 days. It's perfect for a Saturday evening, especially all day Sunday. Libra is very sociable, it's very charming, it's very friendly. And on Sunday, the 21st, the moon continues in Libra, giving a very friendly, cooperative, peaceful day. But the sun in Taurus will be in a hard angle with Pluto in Aquarius. So there could be some power struggles with those in authority, your boss, your parents. The more positive side is the sun is drawing your attention, putting a spotlight on what Pluto represents. Well, Pluto is about transformation. It rules psychology. It also can rule astrology. So this could be a really favorable day of gaining a lot of insight into your personal life through counseling, through astrology, and with the sun to Pluto can be very favorable for recognizing what's not working and letting go of any limiting habits. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week with my next segment. Until then, be safe and well.